Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and you are listening to My Favorite Murder, featuring your host once again, AfroMattt. Today we have a jam-packed episode full of goofs, gaffs, hopefully laughs, and I mean honestly, let's just get right into it. So today we're talking about I don't even know what they talk about on that show. Um, I assume it's just I mean, horrific, the most horrific murders. I hear every now and then my sister will tell me about them, and it's mostly horrific, like the worst things, like people getting their arms chopped off, um, and like real counts of like being trapped and raped and had like slivers of absolutely the worst, and people just fall asleep to that. So I mean, if people fall asleep to that, then surely people will fall asleep to this one. So today we're going to be talking about the Indian slave trade, on My Favorite Murder. So today, yeah, also, this is a solo episode, so we do not have brother Danny, we do not have Chief Birdclaw, Lucas, and we do not have Nick McChillin. So it is just a solo episode today, which is fine. And oh yeah, sorry, it's a day late, but who cares? I mean, really, honestly, who cares? As long as you get it once a week, right? As long as you get the slop once a week, it's good. Um, and also, I honestly, I'm kind of glad I waited because a lot of shit happened. Like usually we record on a Wednesday and it goes up on a Thursday. Sometimes we'll record on that Thursday and it'll go up later that Thursday. Just depends. But this is going up on a Friday. I guess it's being recorded on a Friday. It will probably go up on a Saturday. Or whenever you hear this. But yes, this is the AfroMattt Show. I'm your host, AfroMattt, and let's just get into it. On this episode, we're going to be talking about some crazy shit that's gone down. I don't even know if you've heard about some of this. I mean, so recently, and I don't know if any of you've seen it, but there was an incident, horrible incident at the Oscars, which, if you're like me, I didn't even know it was happening. But I mean, absolutely horrible decision making on everyone's part. Amy Schumer was hosting the Oscars. That's not what we're talking about, but it's a good joke. So we're gonna. I mean, I don't even know. This has 88 million views. I don't even know why I'm replaying this, but we'll just replay it for, what? Because why not? I mean, Chris Rock gets rocked.
Hardest job tonight, Javier Bardem and his wife are both nominated. Now, if she loses, he can't win. He is praying that Will Smith wins. Like, please, Lord. Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it.
There it is. G.I. Jane 2. Uh-oh. She's pissed. She rolled her eyes.
That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Uh-oh. Richard.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Oh!
wow. Wow.
Jesus
Will
Christ.
Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yes.
It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
I'm going to, okay? Okay.
Dude, that part's the funniest, though. He said I could, and dude, get this cat out of... Cat, come here. We have a situation with the cat. Come here. This freaking... There's been a situation with the cat. This cat is a freaking beast. Look at him. Such a fucking fat ass. What's up, Dickless? You gonna say something into the mic? You're live on the podcast. You're live on the AfroMattt show. Nope, he's stealing the mic. Get out of here, you fat ass. That is beef Wellington for you folks. All right, Jesus, hopping up on my desk. He's a menace. He truly is a menace. You know, that cat is a menace. He like 2 nights ago, I was sleeping in the I was like falling asleep watching Always Sunny in Philadelphia. At like 1 a.m., the cats are going absolutely ape shit, like throwing shit on the ground, just sprinting, like literally full on sprinting around the living room. I'm like, I cannot get any sleep. I'm like screaming into my pillow. It's one of those nights of sleep where you're just like, ooh, let me sleep. I just want to sleep, you know? Just one of those nights. And I didn't realize it, but that menace, that Beef Wellington that you just saw, got into an entire bag of catnip. And they were just sustaining their high for an entire night. Just like re-upping. They would like, I don't even know what they do. Do they sniff it or lick it or eat it? I don't know what they do, but they went and they got a good sniff, and they would just like run circles, and then they would like come down, and then they would go get a re-sniff. They have no control whatsoever. Little drug addicts. But yeah, those little shits kept me up all night. I had the worst day in the work the next morning. What a little shit. What was I even talking about? Oh, the G.I. Jane joke. G.I. Jane joke. Yeah, I mean, if you don't know Chris Rock got slapped, I mean, what are you doing? I bring you the news, but I mean, this is barely news. The best thing about this is not the fact that everyone cares about what happens to 2 billionaires. The best part that happened here is that finally no one's talking about the Ukraine war anymore. Which, I mean, I appreciate this about America. And it makes America uniquely special in the way that one major act from one celebrity to another can temporarily let us forget about an entire war, which I'm for, right? I've been stated on this podcast before of being completely, of course, what's happening in Russia's, I mean, horrible. But I am absolutely, there's people, okay, I'll say I'm the opposite of whatever the people, there are people that say we need to put a no-fly in directly, no-fly zone directly over Ukraine and directly start some sort of like confrontation with Russia. I'm anti-confrontation with Russia right now. So if that means that I'm anti, going to war with, or helping Ukraine, then hey, it is what it is. I just don't want to start another 20-year war that will. The menace is back. God damn it. Yeah, if that means not going to another 20-year war where my kids will, I guess, when we were in Afghanistan and Iraq or whatever, that is my entire child. I'm 23. So we were there for like 22 years. It's like, is that really necessary? I don't think so. But, I mean, thankfully for the Ukraine war, it got us to stop talking about COVID. And now Chris Rock being slapped had us stop talking about Ukraine. Which, I mean, it's like the old phrase, push it down with brown, which means drink whiskey to make the problems go away. We just need more conflicts between celebrities and celebrity drama. We need Kanye going up and getting smacked by Will Smith. We need Will Smith slapping Joe Rogan, starting that off. That's going to be big. But I mean, it's really not cool what Will Smith did. I mean, everyone knows he's a cuck. So I mean I mean this in the realist sense as well, that it was literally chill with his wife, just like having sex with his son's best friend, which is he was totally okay with. But I mean, he's probably whipped. He probably told his wife probably told her to get up there, and or she's like, August wouldn't stand for this, and he's like, oh fuck, well I gotta go do this now. Which, I mean, you do you, bro. Not cool though. I mean, he's doing his job. Who cares? Let's move on. Everyone knows everyone's heard every take on that ever. Like, there's so many. Like, who even cares? Let's move on to. Oh, this is a cool video. Here we go. Let's play this.
My question is for the.
So this is this is Canadian, or I guess Canada's Parliament. And they're talking to the judge. The judge doesn't know what to say. I played a video that was similar to this, where they were trying to find a definition of the word woman. So here we go.
The Minister of Middle Class Prosperity.
This is what politics has become. It's become asking questions and then avoiding said question.
Who is a member of Parliament here in Ottawa? What is the average cost for a home in the city of Ottawa?
So this is I don't know if this is a Republican or whatever. I think they have conservatives and like liberals or something. But I think this is one side talking to the other.
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, my title is the Minister of Tourism and Associate Minister of Finance. I'm sure my honourable colleague across the way knows that. But let me say, Mr. Speaker, 156,000 jobs.
The Honourable Member for Carleton.
The Minister of Treasury Board can help by telling us the average cost of a house in the nation's capital.
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I want to say 106% of jobs have been recovered since the lowest point of the pandemic.
Jobs have been recovered.
What is the average increase in house prices since this government took office in 2015?
The Honourable Minister.
I'm going to speed this up a little bit so that, I mean, here we go.
Mr. Speaker, Canada's economy contracted by 17% between February and April 2020, the largest and most sudden contraction in real GDP since the Great Depression, and we're already back.
Honourable Member for Carleton.
Just the average house price.
The Honourable Minister.
5.5 million Canadians lost their jobs, and they're all back.
Member for Carleton.
And what would they pay for the average house?
The
In
Minister.
2020, unemployment rate had more than doubled from a pre-pandemic level of 5.7% to a record of 13.7%, 6% now.
Member for Carleton.
I think there's a problem with the audio in the chamber. The question was, what is the average cost of a house in Canada today?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, our government has made historic investments in housing affordability, and we will continue to do so.
The Honourable Member for Carleton.
And how affordable are such houses?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, our government has made historic investments in housing. We will continue to do so that housing is affordable for all Canadians.
Honourable Member for Carleton.
If so, how much have house prices increased since this government took office?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, let's talk about how it is possible for people to afford their houses with good employment, and that's why employment income fell by an unprecedented $28 billion during the pandemic.
Honourable Member for Carleton.
One last time, in dollars, how much have house prices risen since this government took office?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, consumer confidence is back.
I'm going to
People
speed
are
it
back
up a
to
little
work.
bit more.
106% of jobs have been recovered since the lowest point in the pandemic.
The Honourable Member for Carleton.
How much?
Minister.
He just says how much.
From a steep decline in profits, we're back 66% since the bottom of the pandemic.
Carleton.
How much?
How much?
Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the economy is recovering.
Member for Carleton.
Does the minister have any idea what it costs for the average person to buy a house in Canada? Does he have any idea, or does he even care?
Mr. Speaker,
Minister.
City helped more than 213,000 businesses stay afloat.
I think that the average Canadian can see how much this government knows and cares about the cost of buying a home in this country, which is their level of care is zero. I'm going to give him one last chance. Can he tell us what it costs the average Canadian to buy the average house in Canada today?
I like that.
How much?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the CERB helped nearly 9 million Canadians who lost their jobs when COVID hit, making housing affordable for them. We will continue to do so.
Well, I mean, welcome to the 21st century where nothing happens. Nothing will happen. Nothing happens, and nothing will continue to happen because all of the fixes to the problems are strategically divided. Good news though. I mean, I guess that's Canada, but stuff does happen. And just today, breaking news as of today. This is for the House. House passes bill to decriminalize marijuana. So here they are voting. It got voted with 220.
On this vote, the yeas
here we
are
go.
220 and the nays are 204. The bill is passed without
Let's get
objection.
high.
A motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
That's fun. Smacking the gavel seems like the best part. Seems like the best part about being a judge. The Marijuana Opportunity Reinvestment and Expungement, or MORE Act, which was authored by Republican Jerry Nadler, passed in a 220-204 vote with all but 2 Democrats, Chris Pappas of New Hampshire and Henry Cuellar of Texas, voting in support of the measure, and all but 3 Republicans, Matt Gaetz, Brian Mast of Florida, and Tom Clintock of California, voting against it. 1 Democrat and 4 Republicans did not cast for votes. The bill will remove marijuana from the controlled substances list and leave it up to the states to set their own laws regulating the drug. It would also release people incarcerated on cannabis. Oh, that's big, actually. Incarcerated on cannabis-related offensive for less than 30 grams, and expunge criminal penalties. Whoa, that's actually big. That's actually really, really big news. I mean, those people should not be in jail anyways. I mean, for 30 grams of weed. Imagine being in prison and getting your ass blasted by some dude who killed someone because you had 30 grams of a drug that is legal in literally most states. Absolutely retarded. But I'm glad. I don't really even care for the drug, but the fact that there's someone inside a prison right now getting his ass blasted by a big black dude or white dude, who but he got his ass blasted. He's getting his ass blasted for 30 grams of weed, which is not even much. I mean, it costs a lot, but it's not even much. It's stupid. I'm glad that they changed it. I mean, this proves that we can come together on something, and that something is getting high. Let's see. Hopefully down the line, maybe, just maybe, we'll come together and, come together and get a good idea on what a healthcare system should look like, so something like this doesn't happen. This girl's TikTok is absolutely crazy. This is kind of the world that we live in. We need to fix healthcare so that you don't go into debt for this.
Wondering what it's like to live in America, I had a 10-minute video call with my neurologist, and it cost me this much money.
$291.
My insurance covered $142 of the $434 bill. The call was 10 minutes and it went like this. Julia, are you still getting migraines? I said, yes, doctor, I am. He said, okay, Julia, we're going to up your prescription and you're going to take 3 pills a day. I said, okay, thank you, doctor. That was it. And I have to pay $291 for that? I cannot afford that. And it's like...
First off, that's a problem in of itself. But I mean, the fact she can't afford $290 of excess, I mean, get some savings going on, little lady. But the fact that she has to is also, I mean, what is it? Repugnant? Is repugnant the word? Repugnant. Repugnant definition. Here we go. Arousing. Oh. Oh, wait, arousing disgust. Okay. I just read arousing. Arousing disgust or aversion, offensive or repulsive. Yeah, it's repugnant that the government makes you pay $200 for a 10-minute phone call. Oh, that's funny. She should have called from somewhere else. Payphone or something. I mean, what am I, stupid? That wouldn't do anything.
Debilitating migraines. They're visual. I can't drive if I get them. I can't work if I get them. So I have to see a neurologist for them.
You know what? Actually, now that I think about it, I think it's actually a good thing that you go into massive debt for having to, get a new knee. A knee replacement should actually, now that I've stepped away from the situation a little bit, I think having to get a knee replacement or a hip replacement, I think that should actually cost around, if I had to put a price point, I'd probably say $50,000 cash out of your pocket. That seems reasonable, actually. I mean, how much does a knee replacement cost? How much is a knee replacement cost? It's probably more than 50,000 to be honest, which is pretty stupid. Oh wow, it's between 30 and 50,000. I mean, that's so stupid. So you can choose between a brand new Toyota Camry or a brand new knee replacement, something that will change your life for the better. Go into debt for both. Why not go in for both? Go double down. Get a drive your new Toyota from Toyota Camry Toyotathon. Drive it to the hospital and get your brand new knee replacement. Now you're $100,000 in debt, and now you can go into your when you get home, go into your shower, run the water, and blow your brains out in the bathtub, because that's what is going to happen. We really are the only country, I think, the only first world country that doesn't have some sort of like attainable healthcare system, which and I used to be like super big on like, this was me when I had to debate this in debate class. Well, you think about this. We're the only country that has commercialized medical system. So that means we get the best doctors. The best doctors come here because they know they can make the most amount of money. People come here to come and they want to make money and they want to charge the most. It's okay. I mean, it's a point. It's a valid point. I mean, because why wouldn't doctors from India, China, Canada, wherever they are, come to America because they know that they can make the most amount of money? True. It's true. But that doesn't make that good. I mean, it doesn't make that good. And then the second point is, well, you don't want to wait in lines. If it's free, everyone's going to be wanting to get a knee replacement at the same time. It's okay. Okay. Now, if you told me that I could pay $30,000 for a fast pass at Disneyland, I would say, you know what? I'm fine waiting in a line. And of course, rich people, it really is Disneyland. We live in Disneyland. The world is Disneyland. America is Disneyland, at least. If you're rich enough, you can buy the fast pass, even if they don't offer one, right? If, say, everyone can ride on the rides, everyone gets healthcare, everyone gets a knee replacement. I mean, everyone can ride the lines. You'll ride the rides, but you'll have to wait in a longer line. If you're rich, you can get the fast pass. Listen, I think I may have just fixed it. Hopefully, I changed some of your minds, because I know that changed mine. When you think about the world, with how it truly is, which is just a gross conglomerate of it's a smash and grab. And I've said this before. America is a smash and grab economy where everyone is in a race to make the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time, which is essentially what a smash and grab is. You're in and out. You know that the police are going to be on their way the second you break through that window. you're busting everything. You know, someone's going to get caught. You don't want to be caught. You don't want to get taxed. You don't want to be the guy getting caught for tax fraud. When you make so much money, you're definitely going to cut some corners on that taxes. But you don't, it's a smash and grab, right? Everyone's doing it. You don't want to be caught. You just want to be in and out. Get your money, go. Stash it in some off-market, Swedish bank. And excuse me, welcome to the Swedish bank. That's the world we live in. And it takes a tough look to realize that's where we're at. And I know people will say, "Oh, free healthcare, that's socialism." Look, socialism has its merits when it comes to I think we can agree that its merits come all the way up to when people could like go into massive bankruptcy for paying for a major surgery. Having a kid in California cost $20,000. That's not cool. That's probably not cool. Especially if your kid has to stay there for a long time. Anyways, let's move on. So, getting depressing. Let's bring this up a little bit. This was fun. France election. Emmanuel Macron's Minecraft server is a glimpse at politics in the metaverse. It's election season in France, and posters of the incumbent President Emmanuel Macron gaze down on the picturesque small town of its post office, police station, cinema, kebab shop nestled in the banks of gently flowing river. This town isn't real, though. This is all happening in Minecraft, the blocky sandbox game that has captured the imagination of millions since its release in 2011. Isn't this fun? This is just great. As part of his drive for re-election, Macron's campaign, he created his own official Minecraft server for potential voters and curious British journalists to visit. That's him. This guy's a British journalist. Coming from a president who launched his re-election campaign with the call for the creation of a European metaverse. Okay. Visitors to blah 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 Macronverse. It's called the Macronverse. That's fun. They arrive in a town square with a fountain, a handful of cafes, and an enormous billboard with a photo of the man himself, Macron, super cool. I wasn't alone. The town square was quite busy with other visitors running, jumping, punching each other, and sometimes also the giant poster Macron. Interaction is limited, though. There's no way to communicate with other players other than jumping, crouching, punching, teabagging. The same goes for most of the non-player. Whatever. It's interesting. I like that there's just an Among Us costume. There's an Among Us costume in a presidential. Who's he trying to get vote? What's the voting age? I know that you can drink when you're like freaking 14 in France. Can you vote? What's the voting age? Voting age in France. Because you might just be trying to farm in the... You have to be 18. Oh, well, that makes sense. Same here. What? How many 18-year-olds are going to be swayed by a Minecraft server? I hope the answer is not more than you'd think, because that's sad. Let's go on to another news story. I don't have much to say on that one. That's just an interesting story. The metaverse. That the future is the metaverse, because the outside world, I don't know if you've noticed, kind of blows. Besides, the sun, and when it's nice and warm outside, and you feel the sun heating you up, that's fun. But what's funner, or what's more fun, is being able to teleport from your house to, I don't know, literally anywhere in the known galaxy, or whatever planet they make, and when you can do whatever, and you can play laser tag and you can play poker. You don't even have to leave your house. That sounds pretty fun, and that's going to be the future. whether you like it or not. I mean, you even if you don't like it, when you do play, you'll like it. I guarantee you will like it. You might hate that you like it, but you'll like it because you know what? They have people that their one job. They have psychologists that their one job, 9 to 5 every day, 40 hours a week for the last 20 years, is trying to determine what will make you like it, and they're doing that job and they're just getting better at it. So even if you don't want to like it, you'll like it. I didn't even want to like TikTok when I first started it, and now, I mean, I can't stop. Dog finds big bag of meth while out doing dog things in Arkansas. This is a fun one from the good state of Arkansas, where I am. Dog finds big bag of meth. Great. Jonesboro, Arkansas. It may sound like a joke, but a dog in Arkansas was out one day and brought home something highly illegal. A big bag of meth. Nearly 4 ounces of it. A citizen contacted... This is the sheriff speaking. Hello, this is the sheriff speaking. A citizen contacted us stating his dog had been out doing dog things and came back with a weird-looking ball. This ball is, in fact, methamphetamine. This is a fun story. This is the fun stories you see in Arkansas. Craighead County deputies said on Facebook, "If it belongs to you, feel free to come to our offices and claim it." Someone should have. It would have been pretty funny. Under normal circumstances, a baseball-sized bag of meth would land one in jail for charge of possession with intent to distribute. But seeing as how the dog's first known offense was he wasn't aware of his existence loss, he wasn't... Yeah, this is such a funny story. That I love how they're adding little quips and jokes. This is just so cute. And I love this. This is cute. It's just a baseball-sized bag of meth. That's a cute little story. Yeah. They even added, here's their Facebook post. A citizen contacted us saying, I guess you could say it was an interesting game of fetch, finger guns. That's fun. Thank you, the county sheriff's department. That's a fun story. Nothing brings a smile to my face than knowing that somewhere in Jonesboro, someone had plans to use that giant softball-sized bag of meth. That brings a big smile to my face, knowing that that's out there, and that a dog just randomly found it. That there's enough meth that he, 1, lost the bag of meth, and that 2, a dog randomly stumbled upon a bag of meth. Makes me kind of wonder, is there just meth everywhere? Is meth just literally everywhere? Just like you stumble, your dog's like, oh, cool, I found another bag of meth. Yeah, the meth problem is something that it's funny. It's fun. It's a fun little gag. It's a quirky thing that's very American. And we love it. It's one of the reasons we love America. All right, now let's go on to TikToks. This is gonna be a shorter episode, but
an AI was just elected.
Whoa. I gotta boot this up. Okay.
An AI was just elected president of Korea. It seems that every president is somewhat controversial these days, and South Korea is no different. During the race, Yoon Sung-yeol initially had trouble appealing to younger voters, being over 60 years old. He needed to appear more human, authentic.
I like how their president is 60 years old and having trouble to appeal to younger generation, and ours is like 90.
And wittier, so he created an AI copy of himself. Using the AI, Yoon's campaign was able to create deepfake videos in as little as 30 minutes. So all of a sudden, Yoon was personally answering a huge volume of questions, and this was genius because depending on the audience, the deepfakes could use different personalities or pop culture references. His opponent called this a threat to democracy, but after attracting 15 million views, Yoon gained 10 percentage points in young voters, and his opponent created his own AI.
So, I think China's a good gauge for the future of what will eventually come, because we've always gotten a little bit, technology-wise, we've lagged. We've been in the wake and following China, right? They, actually, did they make an iPhone first? I know they messed around with AI. I know that they're really good with processor speeds, all of their freaking like nanotechnology, and automation, sensors, stuff like that. All that stuff is like super intense. Like Japan, China, they got that on lock. They've got auto driving freaking like Walmart carts. But so we've lagged. This is a good. In the future, we'll have we will have deep faked presidents giving deep fake presidential speeches if we don't already. We could already have that. But it's a fun little. It's kind of funny. His opponent's like, this is terrible for his opponent. Let's see, what does it say?
Or pop culture references. His opponent called this a threat to democracy, but
It truly is a threat to democracy. But as with all things, if you can't beat them, join them.
after attracting 15 million views, Jung gained 10 percentage points in young voter, and his opponent created his own AI.
Yeah, if you can't beat them, join them. Like I said, you may not like the metaverse, but it will be the only way to do things. You'll have to, because it will just be better and more fun, and you can be whoever you want in the metaverse. I know you're listening to this and you're like, well, I am super ripped and jacked in real life, and I say to you this, that doesn't matter. It won't matter. Because you can be as ripped or jacked as you want in the real world, but when you're in the metaverse, everyone's ripped and jacked. All right, let's see what this one is. Oh, this is a fun little. This TikTok is truly apocalyptic. This is a fun. Usually, this guy has. This is like a TikTok trend where you show like dramatic pictures of like hot dudes or, hot people, like big buff men from Euphoria, and like as the beat switches, you switch the photo really dramatically. This is a new take on this from a investment account on top investments from our sitting congressmen.
Most bought stock by every congressman this year.
Senator McConnell, Wells Fargo, Representative, wait, who? Josh Gottmeyer, Intel, Presidential, Susie Lee, Wynn Resorts. That's fun. This is fun. That's fun. We've fully contentinized insider trading. Insider trading has been fully turned into content. Thank you, TikTok. I love that. Here's a fun one.
Did
this
you
one's
know
actually.
that we have a dirty painting in our collection? This is one of Warhol's oxidation paintings, also known as piss paintings, from 1978. The 1970s were widely regarded as the golden age of gay sex in New York City. Warhol's piss paintings were an opportunity for him to bring that sexual world into the factory, painted first with oxide paint and then urinated on, oftentimes by men who Warhol found attractive and could bring into the factory and help him with this work.
That's fun. A nice piss painting. This video. This is the most apocalyptic video. This is a fighter dog. One of those like little mech dogs. I know you've seen them. They have like the weird joints and they walk like they look like their arms are broken. Like the mech dog, and they go like zzz, 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 zzz. This one is walking around China telling people to wash their hands, get tested. It's walking down the street. That I hope and pray to God is fake. Because we are lagging behind China. And eventually that will have a robotic dog walking down the street. Please don't commit crime. Do not think against the government. It's just like it's something eerie about a completely empty street. A completely barren street. With just a single robotic dog with a megaphone attached to its torso, reminding its civilians to stay 6 feet apart, wash their hands, and get tested for COVID. You can even hear its little robotic legs walking down the street. Zip, 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 zip. If you showed me that video when I was 6, I'd be like, what movie is this? No, that's just 2022. That's 10 years from now. Enjoy. Let's see here. Dude, I'm sorry, guys. There's not much. I must have been in a mood when I pulled these because this is
recession, yield curve, the flashing.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, guys, but this is good.
Red bell of the economy. The 2-year, 10-year yield curve inverted today, which is not good. Normally, a recession happens after this happens, so everybody's like, "Oh no, is a recession coming?" You can think.
Look, this is the cross I bear to bring you guys the news every week. This is so this is the yield curve. The yield curve every year is a good determination of how people feel about things.
After this happens, so everybody's like, "Oh no, is a recession coming?" You can think of the yield curve as how people are thinking about things. It's basically the economic vibe. The 2 years, the short-term economic vibe.
True.
The 10 years, the long-term economic vibe. And the difference between those two is pretty important. The yield curve shape. So normally the yield curve is upward sloping, meaning that people are like, yeah, the future looks bright. But when the yield curve inverts, that means people are like, wow, the future sure looks bleak from here. And right now we're almost there. And when this happens, the market can go up, it can go down, nobody really knows. But normally a recession happens when this happens. The Federal Reserve came out with a paper being like, oh no, this doesn't actually matter, but...
I like that. Don't fear. This is why the yield curve going down is actually a good thing. No, this is what they said. Don't fear the yield curve reprise. Anytime anyone has to tell you this is why this is actually a good thing, 9 times out of 10 that's pure propaganda. But this is funny. This is on the actual board of the actual board of governors of the Federal Reserve System on their website. They said, don't fear, the yield curve is actually, this is why it's actually a good thing that it's going down.
Who really knows, right? The Fed could be correct, so sure.
Yeah, they know what they're talking about. This is why it's a good thing. This is why Vanguard and Blackrock owning everything is actually a good thing.
Companies own the entire world, and they have a vested interest in keeping us divided. Vanguard and Blackrock have a combined...
So this is where I get some of my information from about BlackRock. Not this guy in general, but TikTok. I'm on an edge of TikTok where it's conspiracy theories and just general stuff that would make a normal person that has feelings, hopes, and dreams more depressed. But someone like me and others that comment on and like the videos I see. This one, I mean, these videos have like 1,000 views. TikTok doesn't want you to know about this. The doctors don't want you to know about this crazy sex pill.
$17.4 trillion under their asset management, making them both bigger than the largest bank in the world. And these two companies have major shares and voting rights in the majority of the largest companies globally, from energy, oil and gas, transportation, technology, finance, food, media, and each other. They are also the top 2 owners of Time Warner, Comcast, News Corp, and Disney.
So that's all the information that you get, pretty much. Comcast, Disney, Time Warner. So Disney owns Fox, 21st Century Fox, Hulu, Nat Geo.
4 of the 6 media companies.
Time Warner owns CNN, so you can see how this is conflict of interest when BlackRock owns major controlling voting shares of Time Warner and 21st Century Fox, and they pump opposite opinions to both of them. It feels like, and I might be crazy for this, but it feels like they just want to further rip the working class in half and divide us further, and just drive a big, nice wedge in the middle of that. Time Warner, what else do they own? TBS, TNT,
that make up 90%
Cartoon Network, HBO,
of
Comcast.
US media.
Comcast owns Universal Studios, NBC, Sci-Fi, Bravo, Hulu, parts of Hulu as well. Disney owns ABC, ESPN, Hulu, Marvel, Star Wars. I mean, you name it, Disney owns it.
Time Warner, Comcast, News Corp, and Disney, 4 of the 6 media companies that make up 90% of the U.S. media landscape. Larry Fink, BlackRock's CEO, angled for the position of Treasury Secretary when it looked like Hillary Clinton would be president in 2016. He then served as an advisor to the Trump administration, and then he was heavily promoted to be the Treasury Secretary for the Biden administration. So while this guy continues to jump from whichever political party is in power,
dude, he gives so much money to whichever side. It doesn't. These things are completely apolitical. He just wants more money, essentially. Good news is, out of the 11 people that are on the board at BlackRock, 7 of them are women. So it's actually kind of woke. It's actually kind of a woke queen, yas queen moment, and kind of a boss bitch kind of moment. And I'm not only am I here for it, but it sent me.
2 of his news companies, Fox and CNN, continue to vilify the opposing side. Now, why do you think that is? Vanguard, who is the largest owner of BlackRock, describes their corporate structure as unique, making it very difficult to figure out who actually owns them. Aside from the private shareholders, they don't allow for any form of outside...
This is crazy. So Vanguard is not publicly traded, very private. The only people in it, the only people that are allowed to invest in it, pretty much, are the major elite, and these people are mostly just families. So you had to get in early. The seeds were planted early to ruin this country.
Investment, and they're not publicly traded. The most well-known shareholder is probably the Rothschild family, but other shareholders include the Bush family, the British royal family, the Rockefellers, the Vanderbilts, and the Morgans. There's tons more to say on this topic, so if this interested you, I'd really appreciate it if you click the...
That's fun, huh? We've got one more. We got 2 more videos. This one's actually pretty funny. So Disney has a professional balloon diffuser.
Did you buy an expensive Disney World balloon?
First off, if you ever find yourself buying an expensive Disney World balloon and wanting to keep it for future use, you're beyond mentally retarded. But let's continue.
And now you think that you have to pop it at your resort? Well, you can take your balloon with you to the Orlando airport. You can head to the Disney store and they will professionally deflate the balloon for you. We have tried doing this at home before. It can get kind of tricky and there's no guarantees. They tell you that as they take it that they are not responsible for anything that would happen. They deflate it, fold it all up, put it in a Disney store bag to take home. Then you can bring it home and reflate it.
Reinflating a Disney balloon at your home seems like the most depressing thing I can imagine doing with my life. That being said, we're almost at 50 minutes. We're going to cut it off here. If you guys are listening on YouTube, go ahead and give me a follow and a rate on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts, iTunes, Apple Podcast, Amazon, Microsoft Audio, Google Podcasts, wherever you get whichever BlackRock controlled media outlet that you receive my content from. Go ahead and give it a nice solid thumbs up. If you're listening on YouTube, you can find me on there at the AfroMattt Show. That's AfroMattt with 3 T's. Or if you're listening and you're listening to my sultry voice over the airways on one of those platforms, you can find me on YouTube by just searching simply AfroMattt. I will be the first one that pops up because no one else is dumb enough to put 3 T's at the end of their name. That being said, thank you if you made it all the way through this podcast. Go ahead and put a comment in the comment section that says Dingleberry, and I will catch you on the next episode of the AfroMattt Show. Thanks for listening.